So Austin Mcbroom lost his boxing match with AnEsonGib recently, and he said some interesting things in a video that he put out yesterday. I just wanted to talk about that for a few minutes. This video is something that if he saw, he would probably consider to be one of the haters criticizing him, but whatever, that doesn't take anything away from my points. Feels like they just say that to deflect things away, and because they have such a young fan base, people are just like, oh, okay, that works. But anyway, back to the actual video. I'm going to read some transcripts from an article I found because that's just easier than putting the clips in as of right now. Sometimes articles are just so convenient with the way they compress things, and I didn't want to watch that nearly 30-minute video. I watched some of it. So let's actually get into the article. Mcbroom spoke out about the fight on September 15th when he revealed that his wife, Catherine Piez, was unhappy with his boxing pursuits and claimed that the channel hadn't been the same since he got into the boxing game. I mean, really, their channel hasn't been the same since they got foreclosed on their house, but that's a whole different thing. They claim that they didn't, but you can go find proof of it pretty easily. There's videos everywhere talking about it. Just look up Mcbroom family foreclosure, and I'm sure, and like I said, tons of stuff talking about it. But basically, I can understand how this would affect the channel, right? You got one of the main players, one of the main stars, quote unquote, of the channel just not being there. That's obviously going to affect the energy, the vibe overall, even if it was just a team and not a family. The word humbled, yes, definitely. He said, I was humbled, and I feel like there have been moments in my life throughout the 30 years I've been here that I've been humbled, and it has grown me so much as a person. Yeah, so you've been humbled throughout your life, and yeah, everyone's gonna be humbled. I don't understand why this is a standout quote. I don't know why he said this and why the article pointed it out. Maybe it was he definitely got humbled. He knocked down Gib one time and then started talking, which makes sense, getting their head. But he got knocked down 3 times after that, so it didn't work out too well in his favor to start talking like that, but it is what it is. Mcbroom then went on to state that he would take an indefinite hiatus from boxing to focus on his family and YouTube content, although he admitted he would likely come back to the sport at some point in the future. This reminds me of how the Migos are always talking about how they're going to drop the Culture 3 or whatever it's called, because the Culture 2 was just so good. I forget the actual name of it, but I'm sure somebody knows. And everyone's just like, keep it. We don't want it. The time's passed. The Culture 2 came out in 2016. With this, it's like, dude, stay away from the sport. You've already gotten yourself sued for a ton of money. You're owing a ton of big names money. And honestly, he's lucky they didn't get publicly put on blast. He very easily could have taken an even bigger reputation hit from all of this. The fact that he skirted by was actually kind of impressive, at least to me, because you took some money from some big names and didn't really James Harden is a guy who Austin Mcbroom owes money to, even though I'm not 100% sure whether he paid it or not. But there's still fighters that haven't been paid, and a lot of people are talking about, I hope AnEsonGib got paid up front, and I agree, because last time that fighters didn't get paid up front, they didn't get paid at all. And for some people, I would be like, oh, well, maybe they learned from their mistakes, but does Austin Mcbroom really seem like a mistake learner from her to you? Even though that's the weirdest thing I've ever said, a mistake learner from her. Does Austin Mcbroom really seem like a guy who sits there and goes, wow, I messed up. Okay, I'm gonna fix it? Or does he seem like a guy who's like, I think I got it. I think that the way that it happened last time was fine, and we just have to find a little bit more money. He does seem like a bit more egotistical to me, which is why I wouldn't say that I was specifically rooting against him, because even in the short I made right after the fight where he lost, I was like, I didn't even know about this. So that even proves my point even more about him not learning anything from his previous mistakes. Because if he had learned something, he would have realized that, hey, last time I did this didn't get marketed, and not a lot of people knew about it. There was a couple posters around, but most of the hype was on TikTok, and your main audience, mostly people under 20. And people under 20 are not going to be willing to pay $70 to watch somebody fight. And because it's a YouTuber, there's going to be hundreds of streams out there taking away pay-per-view buys. So you've got all these factors working against you, and then you're like, oh, we're going to sell 200K. And we have to sell 200K, otherwise a lot of people don't get paid. So really, this whole tirade is basically me just saying, just stay away out of boxing. Like, there's some things that people are more have a larger aptitude for, are better for, can build a career in. This is not one of those things. Okay, you won one fight against a guy who just got out of high school. And then when you faced a boxer who had actually beat somebody before, you got dropped 4 times and you lost. There's levels to this, and you just aren't at that level, which is fine because I'm not at that level, and I'm not sitting over here crying about it. It is what it is. But that's basically all I have to say on the subject. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.